who noted that they were escorting the singing Westerosi, who was being loud and obnoxious, to be ransomed because they thought he was worth the time, and managed to locate a like a landmark map on one of the dead, or that was actually the guy I was interrogating, which could sort of guide us to the vulture camp near where this guy was going to be ransomed. And because we were really low on food and water, it stood the reason that we'd find more food and water there. So we set out in search for adventure. On the way there, with our inept singing fop in tow, we were really short on water, and Kevin, with his glorious eyes, found a possible water source that may or may not have had slime involved. Oath Magoo told the scout to go further investigate, and Dark's character followed him in. Dark fell in the water and got covered in slime. His clothes at that time no longer exist.
Neither does my Caladan.
Yes, he hasn't shown any symptoms yet, so everything's fine. We managed to get to the elevated cavern where the vultures had their camp, and understandably so that any real camp in this environment has to have a source of water, which we desperately needed. Otherwise, we would be setting destiny points on fire. The cunning schemes among us, that really didn't make sense as a sentence, but I'm going to continue anyway, resulted in Bree luring out some of the Dornish vultures, including some vipers or a viper, to descend from their high ground and investigate her. She pretended to be desperate and need water and be without anyone while everyone else hid. And Alaric planned his master tactics accordingly. Bree deceived them, a trap was sprung. We ran up the elevated ground, some of us did. There was knights and marksmen and more vipers and poison involved. Kevin took a wound. Gogur's character, big bastard, he got wounded and knocked down a bit. Alaric got knocked down too. We managed to prevail with not so bad in the way of injuries. Bree took another prisoner, and we learned that this elevated position is connected through underground passageways to the Tower of Joy, which you may or may not recall, listeners and players, is where we entered the Red Mountains, heading down from Karen Lands through and into the Tower of Joy and beyond the Tower of Joy to the Red Mountains. So we've got a strong access point to return and hang up our mission accomplished banners. But before we're going to return, we decided that we were going to stay in the area for a half moon at most to see whether anyone else came by, expecting the vultures to still be in control of this area. We pick them off. We go from there. There's plenty of food and water, and besides, the wounded do need some time to recover.
Yes.
It is, I was going to say, it's a pretty amazing find, this stronghold and the connection. Like that, it's really like a beachhead into the mountains for us.
Yes, the hope being that, in exchange for us expending a supply cache that House Carrot had left behind, we could say, hey, we have found this elevated ground that has plenty of food and water that would serve great as a spearhead to thrust into the vulture.
And you can get access to it from tunnels.
Yes,
within a day.
Cart, you can cart supplies.
Yeah, they said even a cart could get through the tunnel.
Oh, that's amazing.
That's how they brought food to this elevated position. They've taken it through the underground passageway.
So is the stronghold here, is it only connected to the Tower of Joy, or don't we know if it's connected to other things?
There's
don't
other tunnels,
know.
but I think he basically pointed Like, that one goes to the Tower of Joy.
Yes, the prisoner that I took, he pointed that out. Bree had a heroic awareness, empathy, and she hasn't gone scouting into the tunnels. They may lead to other places, but it's the route that we know of, and it's the route that he knew of.
Such potential.
You will, as players, perhaps also remember that that Rosette, when you actually visited the Dornish Mountains, spoke of these many tunnels that run beneath of what is basically old sort of rivers, underground rivers that are dug out in here. Some of them still with some water in. Sometimes in spring, there's like monsoon rains basically that just fill them up and rush out whatever's in there. But if you know the network somewhat, you can maneuver through this place like day and night. You have access to water. Like, you don't have to endure the terrible environment here, which is likely what allows these vultures to exist in the first place, having potentially thousands of people in a single location where there really can't be grown that much food because it's super shitty. So
anyway, I hope I saved the recap. You'll of course note, Jonas, that Kievan was wounded. There was like 8, 9 like archery like marksman types, and even though we attacked in the darkness where they had 2 penalty dice and Kievan didn't have any, you eventually were hit where your character was.
It's to be expected.
I did my best.
And,
I had you like down in this fucking corner here.
I'm not complaining.
Sir Ellen Westerling stood by to defend you, and he
Felt horribly. Well, he slowed them down.
he
Not
only
with
has
his
a
real
spear
weapons
with
and
which he
armor.
is not trained.
Yeah.
So, you know,
He's pretty bad off.
he was a delaying tactic.
He's
Yes.
better than a peasant. Worse than a guard, certainly. This sort of. Yeah. He was never the best at swords to begin with. You know.
Well, fat load of usefulness he is.
Yep.
A
He's
winning
a little bit out of his
endorsement right
element,
there.
it can be said.
I'm not really good at anything. Oh.
Decent talker,
Wow.
And his family is rich.
clever,
I am so rich.
rich enough for him to go to the Dornish Mountains to look for gold. Yeah.
Right. I
Stupid
skipped
as well.
telling his story so much, but if you're really interested in that, Jonas, you could probably just listen to the part of the session where he shared his story.
I have to say, you relax in the nice hot cave for some time. Going perhaps further down where it's dark, but there's some torches here, nicely enough. That allows you to sort of light it up a little bit so you can actually see down there. And I mean, it's the more as comfortable as sleeping on a cliff, sort of as a stone floor can be. Taking the sleeping gear and such from the people you murdered. What happens to the Dornish knight? Bree? Would you set him free, or?
I'm not going to set him free until we leave.
Right.
I don't want him to like,
here, everyone, come on.
Yeah. That's what he's like. Really, he walks out of sight and then disappears down
Collapse
into
the
the tunnels.
tunnel.
I know.
Wait, why are we setting him free?
I basically plan on just like letting him go when we're going to leave. Until we leave, I'm not gonna let him go. I'm gonna keep watch over him as a prisoner. Here.
But why let him go? Why don't we just kill him?
Because I'm not going to.
Alright, I'll do it.
Because
Are
you're
you
not
just
going
playing
to.
the lady?
You're not going to make that decision for me.
Yeah.
No, I'm not saying that I should make the decision for you. I'm asking you, why have we decided to let him live?
Because I want to let him live. I took him prisoner and got valuable information from him, and as far as I see it, it's my choice to do so. Wouldn't have known
Alright.
about the tunnel connecting to the Tower of Joy otherwise.
Sure. I mean, he's an enemy, though.
So
He
it
knows
is,
of
it
us.
is dishonorable to
He was
kill an
very
enemy who has yielded, right?
he was very honest, and when questions were asked, he gave answers, and Alaric's quite happy. Just once we're done here, he can be set off with like a day or two's worth of water and be gone.
We could also take him with us.
We could, but then that's another mouth to feed.
I mean, we have 20 days of food and water, and it's 1 day to the whole joy.
Yeah, but we don't know how bad it's gonna be.
There's disadvantage to taking him with us because he's going to actively resist along the way. It's not as if I converted him to suddenly fight the vultures.
Yeah,
No,
he's gonna do pretty much the same thing as Westerling, just saying. It's the easy way of doing it.
Besides, I have a message for him to carry back to his masters.
All right then.
Right? Not
Yeah,
gonna
Buys the
question guidance
desert.
wishes.
but the first couple of days here in the nice, roomy cave goes without too much trouble. Enough for you to get a chance to recover some of your wounds. I think it's safe to say that injuries will probably be taken care of.
I have more than enough rolls that I could do in injuries based
without,
on
without issue. But you can try to fix some wounds. Who knows?
So, what level of activity are we talking here then? We talking?
Well, I assume that the people who are wounded would basically lay down and whine while being fed with a spoon or some such. You know?
They're going to be taking light or no activity, in other words.
Yeah, light is probably the right way to go.
Light is probably more appropriate. They're
I
probably
think
keeping watch.
exactly there. Yeah.
I mean, you don't have to.
You can choose not to, but, you know, I need to know.
I might say it's easier for you to heal if you don't move around too much.
We're going to open up all these wounds I'm trying to close. Okay, so who should I go first with?
Big
You know,
bastard
Keevan-
could do with healing or keeping.
Keevan, I'm going first. You're my brother. You're going first. You deserve my full attention. Let's do diagnosis first. What caused his wound?
There's an arrow sticking out of his face. Yeah, it's a good shame.
Well, not really
I
face.
think he tripped.
He's not scarred, so it's in a location where you won't notice the puncture wound. Probably like
In his
shoulder or
left
something.
buttocks.
Oh, you won't notice it? That's a problem.
Yeah. If you're not noticing an arrow in some
Anyway, he got wounded by an arrow.
Ooh. Well,
Yeah, that's
you know,
not that difficult too.
let's see, he's taking light or no activity, which makes a wound a 9. Retreat.
Yeah.
I have 5 dice. Success.
Hooray!
Wow,
live.
all of the
Only
ones.
the ones.
Oh.
Not all of them.
So many
Botch
ones.
killed me. Oh.
I can't.
Oh no, I spilled poison in there.
Why do I keep my poison so close to my medicine?
That's why you carry the poisons around.
Switched the labels on accident.
Oh,
I can't read the
Being
labels.
clumsy.
oh.
I can't read the labels.
Is this the part where you tell Kevin, by the way, Rin, that all of his milk of the poppy is gone?
I told him. I already told him. Sure.
Yeah, yeah, it's all
Rip
fucking gone.
milk of the poppy.
We needed it for a thing.
I hope it
Don't
Screwy
worry.
thing.
The requisition points you've earned will totally pay that back.
I hope it.
As I suppose I will go over to Big Bastard, who is now the most wounded. By far.
Yes, the collector.
MVP.
Damage blocked.
Let's see.
What you really missed, Jonas, was Varen Flowers being knocked on his ass by the vultures. They were kept swatting him down because it was so easy for them to knock him down. Because his agility is awful.
Poor Baron.
1 week healed 2 wounds.
Oh my god.
Dodge
There also be
healing.
something else that Baron did, but
That was
Oh, no.
too. Oh my god. 2 wounds. He's a fucking wizard, Varen. Kill him.
And
Sorcery.
now,
hit him, take his eyes.
he's seen this kind before.
Oh,
They normally have purple
That's-
lips.
Yeah.
that- Forgot to mention that in the recap, Jonas. My bad. So, Varen Flowers collects eyeballs, and he was plucking them out of the Dornishmen.
It was fucking
Where does he
revolting.
keep these eyeballs?
In a jar.
Big glass jar he had in his backpack.
Wait, but you've fallen around like a douche on this mountain for weeks. How do you have a glass jar that is still
Big glass.
intact? How hasn't that broken and like a gooey eye fluid all over?
That's his one unique thing.
Okay.
The jar.
The jar never breaks for some
Jar
reason.
never breaks.
No, it never breaks.
We need some armor made out of
Maybe
that
he just
shit.
takes very good care of it.
Yeah, indeed. I make sure to fall on my face instead of my
Reason
back.
he didn't take
Oh,
that
that
off?
explains the
That
look.
explains the look.
That explains that.
Go for the eyes, Baron. Go for the eyes.
He even will nod and say yes. That explains everything, actually.
Yeah.
Not the back.
My eye collection.
Should. No, it might break at some point, but it hasn't yet.
And
When that
Elric
breaks,
gets
it's gonna
fixed up
be
as well.
vile. Ugh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I only had one wound.
You know, with all the others either healing people or being in the sick bed, what does Bree spend like her days doing?
Oh my goodness, she is champion. That's what it is. Like those suckers are recovering, and Rin is taking care of the suckers. Sir Erlen Westerling, I'm sure, is not being obnoxious or annoying at all, right?
He's being as pliable as possible, helping whenever asked, and staying out of your way when not, because he doesn't want to be annoying, so that you leave him here or something.
Snap his neck.
Well then, it's up to Bree to, when she's not looking after her prisoner that she keeps bound up, stowed away in the shade. She goes to look in on the tunnels just to make sure that there is a tunnel passageway that she thinks that even the big bastard can navigate.
Well, the one that was pointed out to you by your prisoner seems to have been smooth in the floor. Most of these are sort of small and winding and all sort of rounded, where you can see sort of water has formed them. But this one has been sort of like the bottom has been cut out a bit. There's still some chunks of rock and whatnot, but it's been made so that a cart could move here, even if it would be difficult. Probably couldn't get a horse to go in here, so probably like a hand drag cart, but.
Okay.
It's still distinctively different from the others.
Is there a cart here?
No, there currently is not a cart here.
All right. Spend a destiny point to make a cart. No. We take all of the food with us. No. It is my destiny to have this food. Then
Presumably, like there would be one in here somewhere, but maybe they don't keep it right at the entrance.
Right. It seems reasonable. Beyond that, Bree will think about the thing that I spent a destiny point on several occasions. She will work secretively while the others are like tired and whatever to reduce its size a bit, because she doesn't want to wait to grow into it. She's gonna want to wear that eventually, and she has the sewing material to begin trimming off parts of it now and restoring it. And she can do that easily while sitting in the same room as her captive.
She has learned enough sewing skills.
Yes, from being kidnapped and fixing their clothes.
Yeah.
That's where her sewing skills come from. And as well as, I suppose, from tutors at home.
I guess no doubt.
Finally, she wants to make sure that one of the slides that was 2 sessions ago destroyed the only light source that she carried around. She wants to make sure there's torches around so that when they go into the passageway to head back to the Tower of Joy, she has a light thing to carry around.
There's a small crate of torches.
Okay, good.
The place is well stocked. People clearly expected to stay here. It as you discovered last time, it seems like there's way more supplies than these people could have ever needed.
Right.
Here. It's clearly, I mean, both used as a base, but also just as a storeroom for this sort of thing. It's allegedly pretty easy to get it in here. There's a few things that seem to have been stolen goods, some a wagon with like cloth and such that might have been left here to be used, or either just for storage, really.
She'll ask Sir Westerling to keep an eye out on the front little entranceway, as well in her mind, as well as he can, because she doesn't think he's that effective, or else he would not have been as stupid as he's been in life. But since he's sitting around anyway, it seems a valuable job for him to do, a valuable job that we could all use, since there's so many who are wounded.
Sure, I'll keep an eye out. He doesn't seem to be like, he was a little bit of defunct when he was super dehydrated, hungry, and also had like heat stroke.
Right.
But after cleaning up a bit, he seems a bit more focused and certainly capable of keeping watch.
Good.
Maybe not as well as someone who's like especially a scout, but
Right.
not bad either.
Like mechanically, Bree would be better at it, but Bree also doesn't like invest that much value in it. Like, oh, I'll just keep watch over all of them because I care. No. That's what Bree is gonna push herself to do.
Sure. Well, probably as you are one of the days where you're beginning to consider that maybe now that you're beginning to feel better, it really went like you did. The wounds looked worse than they turned out to be, or maybe Ren was just really good at taking care of you. Now that he got time to actually spend all the time with you, and Ren's probably very sick of doing this now.
He's
Having like 3 patients to spend hours and hours every day on.
He said he's spending 6 hours in a row in a day, just kind of going back and forth, treating their wounds, making sure they're close, just making sure they stop getting out of bed, keep reopening them.
When you don't as much sort of get told or anything that someone is there when you basically Sir Erlin Westerling moves in sort of quietly, and sort of begins gesturing sort of wildly to the entrance. There's Donishmen, I think. They look like them. Should probably be ready to do something. Don't think they saw me. There was a bird in the sky, but
Are there battlements or something in this place? Like
there
be high
are.
up?
There is cover. Basically, this is the cave entrance here. This here is a steep incline that is rough. You couldn't take a horse up it for certain, and it has double movement cost, basically mechanically, to move up there. While you're up here, you count as having like a light cover, meaning +2 to your combat defense against anyone shooting at you from below.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And the only access to that is through the main entrance and up, or is there like a...
Yeah, you'd go here, and then you'd begin running up, then you'd get to here, and then you can go in the cave.
Okay.
Defensible.
Well, in that case, Kevin will agile-ish get up from his resting position, a bit sore, and grab his stuff and get ready for combat.
We'll stand up, grunt, and look to Alaric.
Alaric just gets up, probably a bit quieter than usual, and puts on what he's taken off, what little he's taken off, and draws his greatsword. Which you actually haven't seen. Varen and all the new characters haven't seen in use yet.
We haven't?
Nope.
The gaming dog is balanced precariously on the greatsword.
Charging into combat. I guess we could let them like climb up and get in here and assault them in here.
See, this counts as difficult terrain, so it takes double movement for them to get up.
Yeah,
this.
I think if we
Depends.
like around here and just keep
Now,
them... No?
Now, in order for him to see all of that, like, how far into the day are we, Manikai?
It is sort of, still confuses me.
Not a normal
But
time frame.
it is beginning to be morning, which means that the people who are arriving has possibly traveled for some time, and will be wanting to seek shelter here.
So where does the sun rise? Does the sun rise to like shine on like this cavern area?
No, you have the sun in your back.
Okay.
They would have it in their eyes, making it very difficult to see.
Even better.
This position is pretty good for this.
All right.
I suppose this entire area is littered with bodies, though, and blood and gore.
You probably haven't taken too much time cleaning. Probably burnt the bodies, or like throw them in a probably not even burnt them. Probably throw them in a ditch
Right.
somewhere a bit distance
a ravine
away.
somewhere.
But I mean, yeah, there's blood. Right now, though, it's very shadowy. In this sort of, there's a long shadow here, and then
Probably
like there's some
different.
behind him.
Yeah, I was going to bring up like a warning advisory that they might be more effective because it's daytime, but if the light's going to be in their faces, happy days might be here for all.
Yeah.
And you do see a few shapes about there, moving out. There seem to be about 10 of them, maybe a little more. As you basically, one steps out from behind one of the rocks in the distance and says, "Lords of the Marshes, why have you not answered our call?"
Bree, who's crouching down like behind the cover, looks over at Sir Alan Westerling. With basically like his expression on her face.
Yeah, Alaric just kind of stares at him, like shaking his head slowly. Like, you fucking idiot.
I haven't done anything.
I think they spotted you.
Well, it's a call. Let's just not answer.
Should have walked up a bit further. The woman is speaking. Says, "No need to be so dour. Our time draws near. Soon we will wrest their castles from them and live in them like lords ourselves." They seem to generally be in a good mood as they approach.
Bree says, "I think he's just talking about. She's just talking about something. They don't really know we're here, and if they did, they wouldn't know how many of us. Just be quiet."
Alaric just looks forward.
They basically just walk towards the place. Their stuff and such.
Are their weapons drawn or anything?
No, they don't seem to be particularly on guard.
I think it's left up to Alaric then on when he wants to like give a command to do for Kevin to shoot. How close does he want him to get?
I think just a tiny bit closer.
Now, will he have an awesome battle cry this time?
They sort of look up, you know, they no longer have the sun in their eyes, really, because now they're in the shadow. As they squint and sort of stop a little bit. Clearly getting wary of the situation.
Kevin knocks an arrow. He's ready.
Alaric gives a quick look over the group. And then says, it says over the rocks, quite loudly, "The Lords of the Marshes have heard you. In fact, their commander comes for you, and you will all be reefed in flames."
Right, time to shoot.
And yeah, he'll do his tactics
Her
thing as well.
face is like a medieval version of what the.
What goose?
That's
How many
2 bonus die.
dice? 2.
That's right. Yeah, his commander comes for you at initiative 0.
Yep. He watches as his men go and fight on, you know. And then he joins.
Get you just
Maximum.
Just give him a minute.
So
Baron Flowers, remember you apply your -3.
No.
Still maximum.
Still make
Beautiful armor penalty. Yeah.
That's why I don't bother.
My God!
Well-
Yeah. How do you like those 2 bonus dice?
Hey, Jonas, you have 2 1s now. You can roll those try and get 6s.
That's true. I can reroll those 2 ones and
Get
watch
2
it
6s. Get 2 6s. That'd be great.
There we
Yeah.
go. Done.
30.
I'm done. I'm done. The stream is over. It's done.
I will now ask you all to remember your rolls because something gave me an error message, which means that this is going to crash like any second now. So,
It didn't enjoy Jonas getting a 30.
No.
I have a 30.
so please remember your counts, and I will
Yeah.
crash the server, and then we will start it again. It's usually what happens anyway.
Jonas,
You told me to get 2 6s. I got 2 6s. What am I gonna
Man,
say?
I'm
You know?
so happy.
Jonas, this is
That's
our
your
properly
first-
teamwork working together.
That's your first. Where was that like stuff yesterday at the end of last session, Jonas? Just
I don't know.
You don't even need my rerolls for that, man. My bonus die for you. Ah, fuck.
But they did. The bonus dice got him those extra 6s.
Yeah, exactly.
It helped.
It could
It
not
kind
be
of
better.
helped.
Yes, because surely you were under threat of not going first between 28.
Yeah, I know,
and 30.
right? I'm so happy that
we're gonna
I
go
finally,
so-
I believe it is the highest initiative we've seen. So
Imagine if you
I think
were a
so.
blacksmith and that was your skill level.
Oh
No.
man. Masterwork.
Your danger sense, totally worth it.
no, that's a good investment. Clearly.
Since I'm still trying to patch together the worst recap that's ever been done, as a note, one of those striders, or not one of those striders, but one of these striders did manage to escape from this party in the first combat encounter of last session we had. He outran and outhid Varen Flowers.
Yeah.
And apparently the Striders have expert knowledge of the underground passageways in the Red Mountains, and they're the ones who carry messages.
We need to try and capture one. If
The
you know,
Vipers, assuming they all have the same like blueprint pattern work, they use 2 weapons, and they have been known to use poison.
Do you want me to take out the Viper Lady first, or go for the archers?
go for the Viper, I
I'd
think.
say the Archers.
Yeah, I think
I would say archers. The archers have been proven to be dangerous.
They're the biggest threat to you.
They are dangerous, yeah.
Archers it is.
How many archers
You're
are there?
you're on archer extermination
4.
duty.
4. Really?
And they would have the lowest combat defense. The Vultures have like a 15 or 16 combat defense.
Yeah.
The Striders are pretty quick. I couldn't say about the Vipers, but I'm pretty sure they're in the same category.
The
You
Vipers
can
were
all
very
connect
agile.
now, I think. Put yourself up there again.
They moved very quickly, if I remember rightly.
there's somewhere I don't think.
Okay, yeah. I don't think the Striders even got to do anything last combat that we saw them.
They ran.
Like the first one was fucking butchered, and the second one pretty much just said "fuck this."
Yeah.
Should be able to add your values in.
So should we let them come to us, or should we charge down the hill?
Let them come to us. Because high ground gives fighting a bonus, so. And
When
me and you
whenever-
both have decent range, so.
Whenever you stand on ground that puts you above your opponent, such as when you are at a table or at the slope of a hill, you gain 1 bonus die on your fighting test. That does not affect marksmanship tests.
So, yeah.
I like that dynamic. Kevin, 30. So Alaric, 0.
I will note if any of these guys somehow manage to get a minus, I still go below them. So,
Baron Flowers can very easily get a minus.
yeah.
Well,
None of
no,
them are wearing particular lots of armor, as it turns out.
Damn it.
It's
Well, I
you
mean,
know,
the Striders are wearing a little, but
Yeah.
it's, you know,
generally, it's not really practical in the mountains.
how not to survive the mountains. I think we had that conversation last week of like they're not prepared
Yeah.
to face you
I just-
because who the fuck would do that?
Yeah, yeah. They can't. I think the Vulture tried his damn best to try and get through my
the
armor.
Kevin is fastest.
Yes, moving like the desert wind itself. He draws his bow and he shoots. The infiltrators are the ones with the bows, yes?
Yes.
Okie doke. In that case, we'll go for infiltrator 3.
They are the badass natives of this place.
You should presumably get a bonus or an extra test die because of the surprise.